really dissected the film for the last couple of days. What are some of the issues that really jumped out at you right away?
Just, the big thing is that we got to find a better way to play with tempo. And that starts with me. And I got to put these guys in a position in practice to feel what tempo feels like. And if we're not playing with tempo, I got to do a few more things that way to just give ourselves a chance for success. And then everybody has to own their job too, because regardless, and that's me included, we just have to all look at what we have to do a little bit better. And then all of a sudden you're potentially, a couple play. I know that's said a lot in games, but it is so true. It's razor thin between winning and losing, especially when, you have a team with, young guys in certain spots and things of that nature. And the games are shorter now too. So you can't miss on a possession, and I think we had 4 possessions in the first half, and we're fairly efficient, and then obviously not efficient at all in the second half, so they go by quick.
Have you ever dealt with this many injuries this early in the season?
Not really. I mean, I've had 1 or 2 years, and I've coached for 30 years, but I've probably had maybe 2 years that are somewhat similar to this. But you bang through them, and the guys were out here, and I was really impressed with the resiliency of our guys, and mostly offense, but I think the whole team too, because I'm seeing mostly offense because that's what I'm around. But I saw it from the whole team and coaching staff, and they showed a great resiliency, because it would be easy to hang your head when you got all these injuries and things didn't go right last week. But man, they took a really good approach to this Tuesday practice, and that's a compliment to them and their their mindset.
Kenny talked last week about trying to find offensive leaders. Have you had some guys step up?
They'll emerge. They're there. They'll emerge. And they'll. Sometimes that has to happen organically. And it has to happen organically through things happening. And sometimes some of those leaders surface when things aren't going as well, because everybody can be a great leader when things are going the way you want them. That's not a leader. A leader is someone who's doing things when you got bullets flying around you. So being in the situation we are, coming off a loss, having a lot of injuries, they'll start to organically surface, and you'll find out who those leaders are. And it's not all vocal. It's how they operate. It's how they day-to-day. It's how they practice. So already starting to see some stuff like that today.
What things have you learned from your past when you have had a rash of injuries that you can apply to this team?
That you have to focus on what you have in front of you. You don't look in the rearview mirror, because it doesn't do you any good, and it doesn't matter. And if you try to predict what's going to happen in the future because of what just happened in the past, you're just setting yourself up. You have to focus on what are we doing with the guys that are in front of us right now, the squad that we have, the system that's in place. What are we doing to execute on this next play, on this next drive, in this next ball game, whatever that might be. You got to be careful of manifesting bad things coming down the road, because you keep talking about things that happened in the past. So that's how I've tried to deal with it, and I haven't always been perfect. I've dealt with those, like, oh man, it's going to be a long 7-game run. I've done that before back, but right now I'm not thinking that way at all. I love the 11 guys that were out there today, and then the guys that rotated in, and what we're doing, and I feel very confident, because all of their focus is on exactly what is in front of them.
Kenny said the offense could look markedly different this weekend than it has in the last couple of weeks, just because of personnel and where you're at.
Yeah, it definitely could. And I think you find yourself, as a new staff, as a new program, you find yourself figuring out who you are as a season goes along, as a first season. I mean, that's very common with a lot of offenses or teams in general. So it definitely could look different depending on who's looking at. Some people may see it, but yeah, it could. But then again, it's just all about just executing how you approach each drive, each play, each practice leading up to it. So we'll see.
See, they changed the way they defended that deep ball in the early second half versus the first one that was completed. Did that narrow the playbook for you, the call sheet, I guess, when the run game wasn't firing in that second half?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things. I mean, obviously, to take shots downfield, you have to be running the ball well. So, that's part of it. So if you're not running the ball as well, but that's no one's one fault. That's no one's, that all starts with, us as coaches, doing a good job of putting the guys in place, and then those guys then executing their 111 on every play. And then as you start to build successful things underneath, it opens up deep shots. If you don't develop whatever those successful things, I mean, you can develop successful underneath pass game to develop double move shots. I mean, but if you don't have the underneath stuff, whether it's running game to shots or underneath pass game to double moves, it's tough to get over the top of a defense. And then when they get a lead, that can hurt too. So it's, it is what it is that way. Yeah, they defended it a little bit different, but you still have answers.
What are some of the positions on the offense you're I guess, liking right now, what you see in terms of offensive line, receivers?
I think an O-line that's very banged up but still playing together. That impressed me. I think we have a tight end room that we can go 4 deep, and I feel confident in all of them, coming out there. Same with the running back room, 4 or 5 deep in the running back room that I have confidence that any one of them can go in there. And then the wideouts to me, are starting to show more and more that if we do certain things and they end up, at times with more touches, they can be electric in those moments. And I know it's been few and far between at times and that, but those are definitely things I can, foresee starting to happen.
Is there anything you put your finger on in terms of second half offensively?
No, I think sometimes that gets read into it too much. I mean, more than anything, though, I'm not saying you don't address it. You address it and you say, what are the issues? And you come back to it. But to say there's one thing or put your finger, I can't. I can't look at it. I don't think it's fatigue. I don't think it's, and really, with the exception of, staying a little bit higher over the top, they didn't change much. They really didn't. Not from their structure, not from what they do. So it's just a matter of us doing a better job of, getting back to some things, maybe mixing it up a little bit, but at the same time also just executing some of the same things against some of the same scheme.
The first game is probably one of those tough ones because you have a 2+ hour delay between the first half and the second half, right?
Yeah, it is, but so did they. So that's how I look at it. So if they handle it better than us, that's on us. Both teams had it.
Philosophically, do you change much offensively, or is it just about where you're attacking and how you're going?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll let the week play out without talk, and just see what we're gonna do. Whatever it takes to give us the best chance to win. That's our goal every week.
And again, you like the way the kids, the backups, and other guys have stepped up.
Absolutely, and even just the look in their eye and their mentals.
With Drew having the injury, obviously in the preseason, what is his path been like to get back on the field? I'm sure that's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, he's worked really hard. He's he's put himself out there doing extra, and to me, obviously there's sometimes a little bit of rust when you come back, but he looked like himself.